Hello, I'm Dynast Amir.
So I reached out to another friend of mine. I said, look, I need to go on vacation somewhere. Where should I go? He said, go to Africa. And not only am I going to go, I'm going to explore a new country. So I went to Tanzania, South Africa, Namibia, Mali, Senegal, Morocco, Liberia, Namibia, Kenya, the Voodoo Festival in Ouida, Gambia, Togo, Cote d'Ivoire. Sierra Leone, Ghana, Nigeria. It's been a beautiful experience, just learning more about our culture, our indigenous culture. So Uhuru means freedom in Swahili. I'm in search of my roots. In finding that, I would experience my Uhuru, which is freedom.
Till next time, Dynast Amir, I'm out.
Peace, family. We are live again. Dynast Amir, Search for Uhuru. Thank you so much for joining. Do me a favor, hit that like button again. Please hit that like button. Also, too, I got good news. I have some good news. The University of Georgia, my alma mater. If y'all don't know, hold on. If y'all don't know, where's Fitzgerald? I hope and pray that Fitzgerald Stevens comes into this chat room. All right, I hope he comes into this chat room. Fitzgerald, if you in the chat room, don't you hide, Fitzgerald. Don't you hide. UGA, we won our game today, 42-10. We beat Auburn, so we're going to repeat as national champions, you guys. I'm telling you, it's coming. But do me a favor, before we get into the topic and before I bring on Ms. Jones, got a couple of announcements. Number one, listen, if you're watching this, once again, if you are watching this and if you have not bought the documentary, again, if you are watching this and if you have not bought the documentary, I need you to go to documentary. Well, actually, let me just make it simple. Go to searchforuhuru.com. Go to searchforuhuru.com. Link is in the chat room and link is in the description. It's in the description, it's in the chat room, and it's also on the screen. Again, go to searchforuhuru.com. And once again, link is in the chat room. It's on the screen and it'll be in the chat, the comment section. So, guys, make sure you go there. And once again, if you have not bought the documentary, I need you to go and buy the documentary, you guys. Again, I need you to go and buy the documentary. Okay, tours. Got a couple of tours coming up. Guys, I might have one more spot for the tour to Sierra Leone. We're going to Sierra Leone November 20th through December 3rd. November 20th through December 3rd, we are going to Sierra Leone. In fact, you know what, guys? I don't have any more spots left. I don't have any more spots left as of now. But listen, on the site, if you go to donfo.africa, again, if you go to donfo.africa, if you look, watching you cook, what you cooking, Delina? Delina, save me some. What you cooking? Delina, what you cooking, Delina? Save me some. Save me some. But listen, if you go to donfo.africa, again, if you go to donfo.africa, we have already announced the itinerary for next year, 2023. Again, we have already announced the itinerary for next year, 2023. So do me a favor. go to Donfo.Africa. I know we're rolling Sierra Leone again in April, Senegal for the Jazz Festival in May, um, Oshun Festival in August, and then we're going to Zanzibar in November. And if they announce a citizenship ceremony in Sierra Leone for next November, we're going to go. I'll do a group there as well. But for sure, oh, that looks good, Delina. But for sure, we're going to Sierra Leone in April, regardless. I will be going to Sierra Leone once a year because I'm Sierra Leonean. Um, I'll be going once a year, regardless. Leslie, you Sierra Leonean too? What you okay? I see. I'm gonna bring you on. I'm gonna bring you on. So they haven't announced the citizenship ceremony for April yet. Next year's an election year, but I'm taking a group to Sierra Leone once a year, no matter what, because it's a beautiful country. So, guys, go to Donfo.Africa, click travel, and check out where we are going. Okay, y'all, we are gonna let me bring on Miss Jones, and we're gonna jump right into it. I just happened. I don't know how it came up on my feed, in my feed, but Miss Jones is being interviewed by brother Jay Cameron, and I was just listening to the interview, and I'm very familiar with the real estate company that's accused of, or like I said, I'll bring in Miss Jones and she'll share her story. I'm very familiar with that company because at one time, and we've parted ways. Me and my business partner, we had our real estate company in Africa, One Africa Properties, but we parted ways. The tour company and other things just has me too spread thin. So I just rather focus on the travel company that's keeping me busy and other things. So I just had to separate from the real estate business on the continent for now. But probably next year or maybe 2024, Mo Weems, that's gonna be a whole nother show on that. I'll be back in the real estate game on the continent. But we're gonna bring on Miss Jones. She'll share her story in regards to the altercation that happened. And guys, I would just in family, I kind of want to give some pointers as well. Now, I'm not a woman, but I'm very observant. Just when women come from the West to Africa, there's a level of protection that women need. I know in America, I know my sisters, my strong sisters, I could do it by myself. A lot of us say that, but if you have that spirit or attitude in America, in Africa, you're dealing with a patriarchal society, and it ain't gonna work like that. I'm just being honest. You're gonna need male protection. Period. I understand who you are in America and all your accomplishments, and you're a strong Black woman and all that. But some of y'all, when you get to Africa, you got to check that at the airport. It's just, it is what it is. It is what it is. But I'm gonna bring on Miss Jones, and we're gonna jump into it. Let me bring Miss Jones on. Miss Jones, how you doing?
Hey, I am well. Thank you for inviting me into your space. Thank you so much.
No problem. So you're in LA.
Yes, right now.
So back when I was chasing that Hollywood dream, I was in LA too for some years, from 2008 to 2014. I stayed in Koreatown. I stayed downtown. So
affordable.
At that time, it's crazy now. Yeah. So I know my little studio apartment I had in downtown. I was right off of Broadway, right across the street from Umami Burger, and I can't think of the store. American Outfitters, I think is the store. Is that the store? No, and then the hotel just opened up next door to. I forgot the name of it, but that's where I was staying when I was in LA. And when I was there for a box, like a little studio apartment box, I was paying like $1,400 or $1,500. Yeah. I think that thing now is more than $2,000 from the last time I looked. So
it's crazy out here. It's a jungle.
Yeah, it's crazy. But I had to get up out of there, man. LA, that's a whole nother story. But
So did
Anyways,
I.
Miss Young,
So did
oh, where
I.
you at now?
No, I'm still in LA, but I, went to Ghana. I lived in China, so I was like, I need to make a move because
Right.
debt was stacking. I'm like, oh no, it's time to do
Yeah.
something else.
All right. Where you from originally?
Born in Fontana, California, but lineage
Okay, from the
wise,
West. Okay.
yeah, lineage wise, Sierra Leone Mende tribe.
African ancestry.
Yep, exactly.
Have you got your passport yet?
No, so when they were doing the tour, I had to decide to buy land or go to Sierra Leone, and I chose to buy land. But I will be making that trip. I will be because that's what I want. Uh-oh. What
Okay,
are you
okay. We'll
thinking?
talk. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about that. Have you seen the land in Sierra Leone?
No, I haven't. I haven't.
And you bought land in Ghana.
Mm-hmm.
Don't mind me asking where.
Central region,
Okay, is that
like Salt
Central?
Pond, 30 minutes before Elmina Castle.
Okay, so near Cape Coast or
Right,
right before
right.
Cape Coast. Okay,
Mm-hmm. 30
okay,
minutes, right.
okay. Got you. Okay, okay. All right, all right. Hey,
So
listen.
that's my story. That's what happened.
Okay, all right. Hey, it's all good. It's all good. But anyways, thank you for joining. So when did you move or not move to Ghana? When did you first go to Ghana? Like tell us about like why you went and
Right.
like kind of like the backstory of
Mm-hmm.
you were in LA at the time, I guess, or were you
I was in
in
China
China?
at the time.
Okay.
So the backstory is I was pursuing acting and modeling, just like
Mm-hmm.
you were.
Mm-hmm.
And, it wasn't popping off. And so I got a DM through LinkedIn saying, we see your resume. Are you interested in teaching English in China? And I said, yes. So I
Uh-huh.
moved to China. This was August 2019. Start teaching English to kindergartners. And guess what happened? Boom, COVID. So at the time, we didn't know it was COVID. It was something, we didn't know the name of it. But China, we got shut down January 26th. And so I was quarantined. I was locked in China um, from January to February. And then during that time, I was treated awesomely. I know people don't have a lot of stories, good stories about China, but I was treated like a mini celebrity just because I had melanin. And I said, you know what? How am I treated so well? And I've never been treated like this in the States. So that triggered international business for me because I've always been entrepreneurial.
Mm-hmm.
And so that combined with my entrepreneurial spirit triggered international investing. And I said, if I'm going to invest and contribute, I'm going to where my lineage is found, right? And of course, it was West Africa. I didn't know it was Sierra Leone at the time. I just knew it was West Africa. I connected with, I only knew one person on the continent because I'm the first one to return to the motherland after 400 years since the transatlantic slave trade. I'm the first. So I didn't know anyone. So the only person I knew was I did a short film for a writer director, Debo Johnson. He introduced me to his now fiance, Zusi. And I said, where should I go for real estate and the entertainment industry? She said, real estate Ghana, entertainment Nigeria. And so I decided to take the real estate route, did my research, did my due diligence, and I decided on Ghana. And I got right when the borders opened, I was in Ghana November 2020.
So why see me personally, I've told
Mm-hmm.
people I think personally, and Ghanaians don't, Ghanaians, they see this, they'll get offended.
Mm-hmm.
I think personally, the diaspora might be a better fit in Nigeria than Ghana
When it
when
comes to
it
real
comes to West
estate,
Africa. Real estate and everything, because everything is there. Okay. And then with our like personalities
mm-hmm.
that some of us have that you see on YouTube,
Yeah.
I think our personalities might not blend in, but depending where in Nigeria,
Mm-hmm.
I think it's just a
More
better
fitting.
fit for the diaspora. That's me personally. That's
Mm-hmm.
my
And I think
opinion.
the reason I chose Ghana is legislatively and politically, they put effort for us to come back. I not
Yeah, I don't understand why people are afraid of that. Like I said, I think for the diaspora,
mm-hmm.
because the thing is, like, we're all like in what's going on in Gambia, because like we're all right in one little, and Gambia is so
area.
small, and we just stick out so much.
Mm-hmm.
I think Nigeria is more spread out. There's more opportunity. The economy is much more bigger. There's much more to do. The mentality of the of Nigerians are completely different as far as wanting to get to the bag and wanting to get to the money and
That is true.
work ethic and working. Especially when it comes to the women. You see a lot of sisters now.
Okay.
When it comes to the a lot of them are dating or gravitating more towards Nigerian men because of the mentality is different. They're not you rarely see Nigerian men, asking a women, my sister, you have something, asking for money. They're like, no, they're paying for everything. You know what I mean?
Got you. I will be in Nigeria in January. Yeah.
Okay, I might be there too because I'm going to Benin for the Voodoo Festival. So that's right next door. So I just think, especially for Black women, I think for Black women, when it comes to the continent, especially dating, if you're looking for a man and you're dealing with men, because you're in a patriarchal society. So
learn that the hard way.
Right, exactly. So coming from the West, with that, I'm not saying you're a feminist, but sometimes our sisters have that feminist spirit coming from the West and coming to Africa, because especially like in a community, with the Black woman is God, all this other stuff. Like they ain't really trying to hear that over there in Africa. And I think, Nigerian men could be aggressive, but I think for women, for American women, they are more suited for you all in other groups of men on the continent. That's just been from what I observe. I'm very observant.
I'm listening, brother. I'm listening because I wasn't at first, but my ears are open.
Right. So I'm very observant. So, but anyway, so you came from China, you went to Ghana by yourself.
By myself. Yes.
Okay. Did you have any people there? Like what?
So from that, my one contact, they referred me to a project manager in Ghana. So that was my first link. And then I had an agent. So she was referring me to properties that are already developed. And then how you start talking to people, getting to know the community, getting to know more people. And they're like, you should buy land and develop from there. And I'm like, oh, if that's the more affordable route, I'm down for that. And once I went to my agent and said, oh, I want land, she was like, sorry, dropped me like a bad habit. She was like, it's too many litigation issues when it comes to land, good luck. And so from that point on, I was on my own. And that's when I started looking into every Ghanaian YouTuber, whoever they interviewed that was in real estate. I contacted them directly. I also looked into things called Macasa. I looked into the GIPC, the Ghana Investment Promotion Center. So I was just doing my due diligence, trying to find land to look at and see. And so that's how it all started with me. And when I first went in November, and I've been 4 times.
Guys, do me a favor, hit the like button. And listen, we're going to open up the lines probably in about 30 minutes. We'll open up the lines. So you bought your land at Cape Coast. Now, so you already secured. How was that process?
So I purchased 2 properties. So the first property was through Casa Estates, but that was through a land liaison, an American couple, American-African couple. And so
I think I know what you're talking about. One of the guys, they're both Black American, but one has a Ghanaian citizenship, and there's the wife. I know you're talking about.
So it was through them. So thankfully, the first time I went to Ghana, I met my land consultant. So I wouldn't have been able to do any of this without him. And so he gave me the advice. He said, if you're considering land, do a lands commission search and a survey before you give any of your money. Now, my excited, emotionally unbalanced behind was like, oh, I have land liaisons. I trust them. They know what they're doing. And so I didn't do the land search. I didn't do the survey. And I just trusted, the organization. And I ended up getting my first property through them. And they had a partnership with Casa Estates. And that's in Central Region.
Okay. And that was fine.
That process was fine until.
But you do it. Okay. The process when you got your land or the land you have now,
Mm-hmm.
Are you saying the altercation you had was connected to the land that you have currently?
Exactly.
Okay, got you. So you got okay. So
I got
you
one
use
land through cost, another
Mhm.
land I got through a developer directly.
Okay. Okay, so the land through cost, that's what we're talking about as far as with the
Exactly.
altercation. So the
Yes.
couple, I know you're talking
Mm-hmm.
about. Um, they introduced you to cost, or they
Mm-hmm.
were the middlemen,
They were the middleman. Yes.
right? Got you the land.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess what happened or what escalated to where we're gonna get it spin into now as far as the altercation.
Situation. Yes.
Correct.
So we were a repatriation group. It was like over 80 families,
Mhm.
and I don't mind waiting, but don't say it's going to be 6 to 8 months and then keep on pushing it back. And then they moved my land without telling me. So this is when it all started. Yes, they moved my land without even notifying me,
Mhm.
and that's when I did my first video. I said why I don't recommend, right? And so that triggered confrontation between me and the company already because I'm talking about unethical, unprofessional behavior.
Right. So where were the middlemen, the couple that was helping you? Where were they involved with this?
We were all getting messed up.
Okay, okay, got you. Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. We're a group, and so a lot of people are mad because the couple, they're honestly they tried their best. They I don't think they were ready for it either. So I don't blame them at all. But
Mhm.
it was over their head as well. And so they would try to meet with them, try to get information because it's a lot of people that they're
Right.
taking responsibility for. They would miss meetings, push them back, and by this time there's people that have paid outright for over a year with no indentures, no documents, no nothing. And so by the time it got to the top of 2021, you're good.
Sorry.
Want some water?
No, it's
By the
fine.
time we got to the top of 2021, there's people that paid outright and it's been over a year and have nothing. And then something else happened to where, so by this time, I already have a YouTube community and they're asking me what's going on with my land. And I'm like, I don't know. All I know is when something happens, the couple will email me to let me know that my paperwork is done. Email never came through. And so my community is asking me, "Oh, what's going on?" And so eventually, someone volunteered to call the company for me. And I'm like, "Okay, sure, I'm not going to stop you." So he ended up calling a couple of people. They end up giving my documents to him virtually, and I said, "I want my documents. I paid for it." They wouldn't give it to me. Then I did another video. So
You
I'm
said him. You said him. Key word. You say him.
this individual. You want me to
It was
call
a
his name
man.
already? Is a man.
Okay. See, and that's why. Okay, keep going. Keep going.
Okay. And so I did another video on that. Of course, I'm not happy about it, but my whole page is documenting my whole land purchasing journey. So if it's good, bad, ugly, I'm going to talk about it. So that's what I did. And that video went out. Of course, they're not happy about that. And then I was like, I want to see my documents for myself. They wouldn't share it. I had someone in the community email me saying, "Oh, we got our documents. Did you?" And I'm like, "No, I didn't." So I followed up again. They forced me to fly to Ghana to see
Of
my
course.
paperwork
Okay.
from California.
Okay.
I get there. Now I find out that 2 of my 6 plots don't even exist.
Wow.
What? And so from that, I went to the office because they're like, we'll fix this. So I went to the office on August 15th and they were fixing my paperwork. Up comes this man. His name is Salam Manu. And that's when the encounter happened.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So can you? So you said the encounter. Like what happened? Did he just bum rush you and choke you? Like what happened? Like were the
No,
words exchanged?
he
Like
walked up. Right. He walked up and I saw him coming. And I had to avoid confrontation. I just looked down and started editing, 'cause I have a YouTube channel too. So I was like, let me
Mhm.
not even cross nothing. I looked down and started editing. He grabs my face, brings it to his face and says, "Look at me." And I'm like, what? And so I hit his hand off my face and I'm just like, "Don't touch me." And so then he grabs my arm. And so I'm sitting down He grabs me. I'm like lifted off my seat, and we're like going back and forth. I said, "Let go of me, don't touch me." He's like, "Well, you let me touch you last time." I've never
Okay,
been
okay,
alone
okay.
with
Touch
this.
you last. Whoa. Touch you last time. Like what?
I've never been alone with this man. The last time I was in his presence, my lawyer was with me. I
Okay.
don't know what he's talking about. Zero clue. So in my mind, I'm thinking, am I someone in his head that I'm really not? So eventually we're going back and forth. I'm trying to release myself from him. And I saw the more aggressive and more masculine I got, the more aggressive and masculine he got. And I said, you
Right.
know what? Let me go ahead and switch my energy real quick into
Right.
more feminine because
Right.
I'm
Right.
I'm not about to get my face bashing over some
Right.
land.
There's
You
no
know,
like it ain't
it's
America.
not
You know
right, right.
they gonna lock you up.
It that part.
Well, right,
So
and that's what sisters gotta understand. Like you can't be snatching the air and period.
hmm.
You know,
So
over
after
there,
that,
it don't matter. Like it don't matter if the man is wrong. Like
so
it's what it is.
I realized my
Yeah.
situation, and I don't have
Right.
a strong enough pride to try to fight a dude. So I calmed down. I smiled. I looked down at his hand and I said, "Why are your fingertips purple? Why are you touching me with dirty hands?" And he was like, "Oh," and then he let me go, and that's how I got out of the situation. Mind you, I have a witness sitting next to me. Excuse me.
Purple.
Fingertips, like all his fingertips were like as if he went like this and some purple stuff. I don't know what that means. I don't know.
Yeah.
But once I saw that and I acknowledged that, that's when he let go of me, and that's how I got out the situation. And it was a physical assault. You grabbed my face because I wouldn't look at you, and when I hit you off of me, you grabbed me again, and I had to become feminine. And probably in his mind, I became weak, and then that's when he let me go.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And so then after that, what happened? Like what?
After that, my
You
witness,
still got your land, right? You still got your land.
I'm
Like they.
still waiting.
Okay.
I'm still waiting. And they have until they said 2 months, and 2 months mark is October 15th. And if they
So
don't come
7
through,
days.
right, and if they don't come through with that, my lawyer was like, we're going to take the next step from there if they don't come through for your indentures. Because now I
Eh,
bought it outright in March 2021.
mm. So and your lawyer is Ghanaian, I guess. Like he's
Yes, he's going to.
okay. How's that working out?
We'll see because I haven't used them yet. Everything has been on standby, you know.
Okay. Okay.
So October 15th, we'll see. That's when everything starts, basically.
Okay. Okay.
Hmm.
Yeah, that's just unfortunate. But like I said, sisters you gotta have that protection. I mean, what is that? Oh, the siren.
Oh, oh, that's my
No,
side.
I
I'm in
think it's
LA.
right. You are in LA. Okay, that's coming from you or me. I don't know. So I mean, do you have a man? Do you have a boyfriend? Have you gotten
No,
you a
I'm single, but I learned about street court and all this process. First of all, I wanted to say after I posted the video, the Ghanaian community came and just loved on me.
attack you?
So no,
Attack? Yeah.
opposite,
Oh,
opposite.
really? Okay. Okay. Okay.
Yes, they came because
Okay.
after I posted the video of my account, because when I went to the police station to file a report, when I talked to my lawyer, they're like, "You don't have any evidence," because my witness became MIA. He was like,
Of
"Yeah,
course.
I'll help. Yeah, I'll help you.
Of
Whatever you
course.
need, I
No, no,
got
no,
you."
no, 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 no. See, you did it the wrong way. You got to okay. This is how it works. If you want, so your witness, you didn't know him, right? Like you
I
didn't.
didn't know him, but he was there.
So you see, the thing is, for your witness to be your witness and come with you to the police station, you got to have some small. You got the
Some
small,
chop chop.
some chop. You got the small chop.
That
Did you
didn't even
offer that?
cross my mind. That didn't
Yeah.
even
See,
cross my mind.
it ain't gonna happen. Yeah, it ain't gonna. Yeah.
Mm, mm.
Yeah, if you ain't
So,
got the small, or the chop is, they'll tell you everything you need to hear, then they'll disappear. But you gotta,
but
hey, I need you. You gotta be like, hey, listen, I need you to come do this. And I got some
mhm.
small for you. Yeah.
Okay, well, okay, well, that's that. So after he went MIA, I said, "There's no way that this is going to be swept under the rug, because not only are we coming over and we're giving you our money, you gave me land that doesn't even exist, and then you're going to insult me at the same time." I said, "There's no way." So I made a YouTube video solely for the reason to let people know what happened and how this company has been handling this whole situation. Because it's not going to be swept under the rug. People are going to know. So people can make their decision based off of everyone's story, the research they do. They look at my videos, if they look at other people's videos. Right now, at this point, I just want to get the word out so people can make an informed decision, decide if they want to go that path with that company. So this is not an attack on Ghana. The Ghanaian people just surrounded me and loved on me. Literally within 24 hours, I had the #1 YouTuber in Africa DMing me and reposting my video, and then now I have like meetings with high caliber people. So
what came from it so far? Like from the meetings and
so the meetings haven't happened. This is so new, Dynast the Mayor. This is fresh.
Okay.
But everything, people contacting me was so quick, and my video reached like 10 grand very quickly that it's just a big deal. And we'll see what comes out of it starting next week.
Okay. Guys, do me a favor. Hit the like button again, please. Hit the like button when you come to the channel. Please hit the like button. So okay. So this is my question. So you bought the land. Okay. So you had two options. Hold on, where my passport at? So you had this option right here.
Yes.
Which once you have this option, you could buy land in Sierra Leone and own it, not lease it. Versus in Ghana, where I don't think do you have at least residency in Ghana?
I don't have residency. No.
So you're pretty much a foreigner, super foreigner. Was it like a 30-year lease, 20-year lease?
50 year with a 25-year no.
Okay, that's not bad.
So but CAS is 99-year because it's kind of like a partnership. You kind of get blended in with their agreement with the chief. That's what the contract says. Yeah.
That don't sound right to me. Just give me my land. Keep the chiefs and everybody out. Just give me like that. That don't sound. Yeah, that don't sound right. Yeah, that don't sound right. But hey, listen. To each his own. To each his own.
That's what's written.
To each his own. So what's next?
Thank goodness I have another property. So that's where my focus is right now. It's beachfront property, also in Central Region. And I started the deed process with that. Once I get the deed process, I'll raise capital to build. It's going to be a boutique resort, 4 units, townhomes, semi-detached. And so that's my focus right now. My beachfront boutique resort. Once I get my deed, I can start pitching because I'm an Uber driver. I Uber drive. I will say
get your money.
I Uber drive during the pandemic, all that stuff to save up
what kind of
money
car? What kind of car do you drive as far as your Uber?
Prius C hybrid.
Oh, so it's all electric.
Yeah.
So
no. It's a hybrid. It's a hybrid.
Oh, it's a hybrid. I know somebody that has a Tesla and it's just straight.
And then if they have a corporation and put their car through their corporation, because my car is through my corporation, it's not in my name. So I get all the tax write-offs, everything.
Wow.
Yeah. From a business standpoint, taxes wise, I was like, once I paid my car off, my advisor was like, put the car in your corporation's name and everything's a tax write-off.
Right. Yeah. Guys, do me a favor, hit the like button. Now, as far as advice for women, when it comes to going to Africa or going to Ghana, like I said, if you want, here we go. If you want to travel as a woman, as a visitor and vacation alone, me personally, you'll be fine. But when it comes to like actually moving and making moves in business, like I understand, excuse my language, I get that whole, excuse my language, guys, that whole, boss bitch shit that I be seeing on the internet. I get it. Y'all want to be a boss bitch.
That is not me. I'm not with that fad.
A lot of sisters, a lot of sisters want to be a boss bitch. I don't need no man. Sisters, we don't do it all on our own. We got us. We got us, sisters. We got us.
That's trendy. It's
sisters brunch. I know y'all want to have the sisters brunch.
Nothing wrong with the brunch. Nothing wrong with the brunch.
The sisters unlimited mimosas brunch, and we gonna do this. We the boss bitches. I get it. That's great for Atlanta, Chicago, New York, America. That's great. Sounds great. But over there, also you're a foreign woman.
That's a whole. Oh, we can talk about
Yeah,
so much.
it ain't.
Woo!
Yeah.
So much.
Well, that's
so
what I'm saying. I
much.
didn't say she's a boss bee, but I'm just saying I just be seeing this online. We the boss bitch. We are boss bitches. You don't need no man. Meet me at the boss bitch brunch.
I
Unlimited
believe in
mimosas.
partnership. We need each other. Period.
Right. Exactly. So, but see, Audrey says something, and I'm not gonna repeat what Audrey said, but some. Hold on.
Wait, what?
Did I put the link in the chat room?
Hmm?
Guys, did I put the link in the chat room? Because somebody's in the back, and I know I didn't put the link in the chat room. How did I get back here in the queue? Guys, I know I didn't put the link in the chat room. This is weird. Hold on, let me kick this person out.
You invited people. I think you did.
Did I put the link in the chat room?
Well, I know you verbally invited people.
Verbally, but I didn't put the link in yet. If somebody is sitting here in the in the waiting room, the queue, I'm like, how'd you get back here?
They're saying you did.
I did.
Yeah.
Guys, I put the link in the chat. Okay, am I tripping? Oh, I'm tripping. Okay, I'm gonna let this person in, but this I'm letting because their screen picture or whatever you want to call it, their avatar, it looked kind of suspect. But okay, we'll let Black Lion on though. But that's what I'm saying, guys. Listen, you can over there, women, especially if you're not from there, you're gonna need a protection. And another thing, my Black American sisters, don't allow these African women in America put a battery in your back with all this boss bee and feminism, all that stuff here in America. Because the minute they go to Africa, they turn to proper African women. So do not allow these African women proper. So don't allow these African women, these westernized African women in America or in the UK or in France, gas you up and tell you how they boss bitches, boss bees, and they inviting you to the girl, we don't need no man, unlimited mimosa, boss bee
You and
brunch
mimosas.
with French toast, with the strawberries on top
You
brunch, and
extra.
y'all taking pictures of it on your Instagram and posting it on your Instagram. These African women here in America, don't let them gas you up, Black American women. Because trust me, the minute they step foot in Kotoka International Airport, the minute they step foot in Murtala Muhammad International Airport, the minute they step foot in Lungwi International Airport, they turn to proper African women, and all that boss bee stuff is out the window.
What
So
do you mean by proper? Can you elaborate on that?
Proper as far as their manners, the way they act, the way they handle themselves. Very feminine. Very traditional. There we go. Traditional. Somebody put in the chat room. Traditional African women. And none of that boss bee stuff coming to Africa. So I'm gonna bring Black Lion in the go ahead, Black Lion.
Hey, Dennis. Hi, Miss Leslie. How you guys doing? Thank you for letting me on the chat. Miss Leslie, I want to say personally, I'm proud of you for doing what you want to do, going to the continent, getting your African ancestry, and you're trying to build. Kudos to you. I hope it works out. And guys, I want to thank you personally for getting someone like this on the panel, because I see like a sister like this, like she's decent, she's loving, she's respectful, and she's thinking long term. That is something that needs to be pushed in our community. You are literally like what Malcolm X said. You're literally like you got the field Negro mentality. You get the hell out of it. You literally are like that. That is good.
Wow. I appreciate everything positive. I just soak it all up, and I appreciate you, Black Lion, because this is what we need. We need to uplift each other. It's a new day, folks. It's a new day.
Oh yes,
we got to operate in this spirit, especially with what's coming against us on a global level since the beginning of colonization itself.
Yes,
we need each other. So I appreciate you.
Oh no. Thank you, but no, you're not wrong. And there's one thing Giants did hit the nail on the head for. even I started noticing we can't be you. Listen, like, I'm telling you right now, I was literally raised around other cultures, and one thing they will openly tell you if you ask them, like, to keep it 100% with you, they do not like westernized people, especially their own community around them. They know, so Dice was not entirely wrong, because there's lots of people like Chinese, Mexican, other communities. They hate their westernized counterparts. They literally told me in their family reunions, like you have a family gathering or something, they do the traditional families. They do not like the westernized family members. They
Why is that?
They hate them.
Why?
Because the thing is, because in their perspectives, or any traditional family's perspective, you're seen as a form of out of order, out of balance. It's like being respected, but at the same time, when you're westernized, you're demanding respect. Like, those are two different things. Yeah. So that's the issue, and believe me, I've seen westernized African and Caribbean women. It is not good. And I said in the chat, Eddie Murphy was saying this, like his 1987 stand-up Raw. He was saying the exact same shit. And I see on social media, these westernized women are no different than the average women in America. They're just as worse. This difference. They just got an accent. That's it. And go ahead.
I want to touch on what you said, because I think you're going to get to this, Dynast. Once I learned the dynamics of patriarchy and how, it was flowing for me business-wise, I had to learn how to tap into my masculine and feminine energy at certain times. Because when I first went to Ghana,
I'm sorry to interject. What is when I hear a woman say masculine energy, like, what does that mean? Where does that come from?
For example, I can sock you in the face, right? That's a masculine thing to do, right? Or I can say, instead of socking you in the face, let's go talk about our issues. That's two different energies.
I disagree.
But they're both needed. They're both needed. It's not a diss. But there's times where I don't have to sock you in your face. I can just say, let's go talk this out and bring a witness.
Right. And so I see, and that's why I wouldn't necessarily associate completely aggressive behavior like that with being masculine. Because say me and Black Lion have a misunderstanding. But my first thing is, listen, let's talk it out before let's throw these hands. Unless he's just completely say that again, Black Lion.
No, I agree with you. That's me. I don't act
right. Unless he just completely completely.
So what would you call that energy?
I don't know. Talk it out. I don't know, because my first, if I have a disagreement with somebody, my first, I'm not thinking, let me punch him in the mouth. Like, my thing is like, okay, me and you, we don't see eye to eye. Let's talk it out. But if it comes to that point, then maybe. But for the most part, it's just misunderstanding. We sit down, we talk about it like men. And then if me and an individual can't come to solution, let's get a third party to mediate. Again, it just depends. Here we go. It's called maturity. Thank you, Keisha. It's called maturity.
Yeah.
Okay. So what about this? The difference of energy, because I'm not talking about gender, female, male. I'm just talking about masculine, feminine. The energy that takes to play football and the energy that it takes to dance. You see? Two different types of energies. One's more masculine and one is feminine.
Are you a football player?
No, but I have people in my family.
that's a male sport, and that's a competition. That's a male sport. That's like the gladiators.
I'm talking energy.
Wait.
Right. But that's a male. Like, that's different. That's just a different.
Oh, I'll give you a better example. Compared the NBA to the WNBA, they're both male and female. They're both masculine in those two sports. But which one is more loved, respected, and admired, and looks more natural, and get the most attention naturally? The NBA does.
But we're talking about what is feminine and what is masculine.
No, that's what I'm saying. In the WNBA, the women gotta be masculine too to play the sport.
Okay,
But when
because
she
it's
looks,
an energy. It's a certain energy.
Right,
exactly,
and it's so off. That's why people. That's why nobody watches that shit
exactly. Because the thing is, like
because
that's
it's
good.
so
That's good.
off. It's
Exactly.
so masculine. Like it's so off that nobody watches it.
You guys
But
understand what I'm saying?
right, but
Yeah. No.
people, but
No. I
men,
agree. I
but
agree.
we watch tennis because the women are feminine. We'll watch track because the
Yes.
women look
Volleyball.
feminine. We'll watch
Volleyball.
gymnastics, volleyball, but nobody's watching women's basketball because that shit is like masculine as hell.
It and mostly in the traditional mindset of those kind of things. It looks like in my perspective, from a lot guys I talk to, especially different races, they say to me it looks kind of either it looks pretty pathetic and it looks pretty offensive because they kind of it's like saying you're trying to copy us. You're trying to be something that you're naturally not. It's like that's why it's like when we see women in volleyball or tennis and stuff like that, it's more in your nature. It looks more natural. It's more understanding. When we see something in the masculine sport, so like aggressiveness and tough and everything, it feels like almost an impersonation.
I feel like you guys just made my point for me.
Yeah, no, no, no,
To
no,
be
I agree
honest.
with you. I agree with you. No, I agree with
Yeah.
you. But before we get on subject here, like I said earlier, congrats on the. I'm sorry about what happened to you about the assault thing. I'm glad you're okay. Nothing happened, and I'm glad the case is happening. But man, I wish I was on the podcast yesterday. You had yesterday, Don, about it work and everything. But the thing is, one thing I kind of noticed is I'm glad Don touched on this. I have to realize later on, the content is not for everybody. It really isn't. A lot. One thing I know is a lot of our people in America and the UK particularly, they're way too westernized. They will not like Africa. They're wear the dashikis, the head wraps. They'll say Wakanda forever or whatever. They'll do anything African. But when they really get to the continent
It's a
and see
different
how it works,
ballgame.
exactly. You're a basketball player, but say no, we play baseball. What kind of football are you talking about? What kind of game are you talking about here? So like, it's a whole different ballgame. And one thing I know is, especially with females, I say I don't think you'll like it because the thing is that you're raised in this Western culture, and as African culture promotes the way patriarch. Well, I'm not say patriarch. I'll say nature. And what forms in this way, you're not gonna stay long term. You may like the people, you may like the dancing, the music, and the food. Great, you might want to invest in it. But long term wise, I don't think you're gonna stay there long because you're gonna be that square cube in a round hole situation.
And let's Amina, go ahead and meet yourself, Amina.
Hi, everybody. How's
Hello.
everybody
Hi, Queen.
doing?
We're
Well,
fine.
Oh, sister, I feel for you. And this is
appreciate
why
it.
I feel for you. I I've only been to 2 African countries. My recent Ghana was one that was 2019 to 2020, and my second was Egypt, and that was in July of this year. And I had no preconceived notions of Egypt, but I really see how Islamized and greatly patrilineal Egypt is, to the point where women are not outside that often. And more than not, you see more men and they have their children with them. And a situation happened where I was on a tour with Baba Kwesi and Mama Kwesi on their Know Thy Self tour in July. Me and fellow tour mate were having lunch in a hotel, and this pale Arab said to us, he heard us speaking, and he said, um, "Are you from America?" And something told me, just don't say anything, just listen. So I did. So he proceeded to speak to the male tour mate I was with, and he said yes. And he says, "Welcome home." I looked at him. I looked at the guy I was with, and I just something said, "Just don't say a word." So I didn't. But that's what I found in Egypt. It's so Islamized and wholly patrilineal. And if you and I think most of the continent is like that too. Even north of Nigeria, I've seen, I know people from there. Bless you.
Thank you.
And the women can't go out without a male, whether it be uncle, brother, cousin, whatever the case. So when you go to the continent, it's not like being here in America. You have to know your place. And despite how many American women may not like that, that's what you're going into more than not when you go to the continent. And if you have an issue with that, you're going to have an issue being on the continent. You are still a foreigner in a foreign land that's not yours. Your ancestors have not been on the continent for centuries. And you have to do your research before you go. You have to give people respect. If that's how they do it, they call you a Bruni, don't argue with them. You are not in your homeland as far as your birth is concerned. And you just have to know how to conduct yourself. And I think for those Black Americans that do go to the continent, they think that they can act like the Brunis of the world and that they can go wherever they want to go. And it's no issue, but it isn't an issue for them, but it is an issue for us. And I'll tell you, these indigents will argue us down and they will hurt us. Whereas the white people, they will not. I've seen it with my own two eyes in Ghana. So we got to I'm not saying don't fight for what is yours, but do it legally, do it civilly, but don't be out with a loud voice and big hand gestures and all of that, because it's not respected. And then they already have a perceived view of Westerners anyway. But we can't get away with it, but the white people can.
Especially Black American women.
Oh, specifically, because you are bringing on that white woman mindset of feminism, and some of them act like they are men, and they just demand the respect. You don't have to demand respect. It's all how you conduct yourself. People will get your point. You don't have to be managed to get your point across. So that's just what I learned.
Hey, Dennis, can I say this real quick?
Well, hold on. Let me pass it to Set 2, then we'll pass it to you because Set 2's been waiting.
Thank you, Dennis.
Go ahead, Set 2. No problem, Mina. Go ahead, Set 2.
May God's peace and mercy be upon you. Hope you hear me well.
You're very muffled.
Okay, give me 1 sec.
I think as he gets ready, if I can speak with what Amina said.
Go ahead.
Yeah. So that's what I learned. And I learned that since it is a patriarchal society, I have men in place now because the vision is going to continue. I'm not running away because of what happened to me, right? I was like, if this is how I have to operate.
Let me I'm so sorry to interject. When you say men in place, like what does that look like? What do you mean?
So
like, do you have a husband or men in place?
So, for example, my caretaker that's overseeing my land, when my indentures are ready, I'll have him go pick up. I create a release form. I gave him permission for them to give them my documents, so I don't have to go.
Okay,
that makes sense.
They about to jack.
Go ahead, Brandon.
Hey, I just want to say real quick, the patriarchy is just great, and women they be like patriarch, like that's bad. First of all, we wouldn't be here if there wasn't patriarchy, so let's don't do that first. Second of all, this lady has been to 2 countries in Africa and said, I think Africa's like that everywhere, and made a general statement about Africa based on her experience. One, in Ghana, fine. Egypt ain't our stuff. That's Arabs, very few Black people there, and they're Muslims, they're in Islam, and they're patriarchal. So to make a generalized statement about Africa based on Egypt, it's just ignorant. But as far as the assault thing, I'm sorry that happened.
That's not what I did.
Okay, I listened to you, but it's okay. Believe whatever you want to believe. But the thing I'm saying is, I'm sorry that happened to you, the physical assault stuff. I thought you got punched out, stomped, kicked, stabbed, something like that.
No.
But you got grabbed. It was inappropriate for that to happen. But what I would tell women, period, is none of this stuff is ever going to stop. There's never going to be a time in the world where you can go and do what men do and move around like men move, and you're not under the threat, some type of threat. You're physically weaker than a man. but you live in America, which makes you believe that you can move like a man without having the physical ability of a man amongst men. And so, in my opinion, it's just a lack of situational awareness, and it's an adoption of westernized thought where a woman thinks, hey, I'm going to go around all these men and I'm going to get treated as an equal. And once women get outside of the United States, reality hits them, and they understand what's going on. So I think it's good that you got those men in place. I don't think you ever should give people power over your land documents. If you had a man around, he probably would have advised you against that, even no matter how much you trust them. Because even in my experience, I've seen people who were like blood family crying premium tears because they got screwed over by giving somebody power over their land. And and I was advised against that too by my lawyer. But I just want to say, look, your experience is your experience. Like Amina, your experience is your experience. I know Quasi, I know his wife, all of them, they're down at Crest Center in LA and everything all the time doing lectures. Just it's anecdotal. Don't take the anecdotal and make that a general assessment. Everybody here is the sum of their experience, and their experience is dictated greatly by them, their personality. People say, I went to Africa, I got treated bad. Yeah, you're probably a jerk, and I don't even like you that much. So I really can understand why the Africans treated you bad. We just got to always take everything with a grain of salt and just keep everything in context. And thank you guys for listening to me. Peace.
All right, so go ahead, Setu.
Yeah, as I said, may God's peace and mercy be upon you guys. And it's my first time being in this platform, and I want to thank you, Prince Dynast, for what you're doing. I've been listening to the show a minute now, and I'm right now in West Africa, Senegal, and I just wanted to
Appreciate it.
tell
Listen, I'll be back in Senegal in December. I'll be back in December.
December. Yeah, you
Yeah.
told me that. You told me that. So Leslie Jones, like, congratulations for what you're trying to do. It's not easy to be a Black African descent, trying to come back to the continent and trying to like uh, claim your legacy. But the way you claim it, as I said, is very important. It has to be with respect. It has to be with like the power of the spirit that you are coming with, the ancestor, and that are praying for all of us all the time for what they have been through. So I've been here like in Senegal. I've never left Senegal until I was 23rd years old. It's not easy to be here, but I've questioned a lot about who am I, like why Black people have been living this a long time ago until now, questioning myself. And when I was able to step out of my country and to see I was still myself, and I know wherever I am, I can be right with people, act right, and speak my truth and be respected for who I am. So I'm just telling you, it's not a matter of being a woman. It's not a matter of being a man. It's a matter of being like a human being and being respected, because God does not like privilege like man over women. That's not like the right thing. If you are truthful, if you
I
come
agree.
with respect, if you come with who you are and honesty of what you want and what you are genuinely want, people will give it to you because it's yours. It's yours. It's in all the countries in Africa. It's in everywhere. Just be who you are, and you will have it. Come with respect. Don't create noise. Come silently, move, and do what you gotta do. You will have it. I know, like that, it's not easy, but you will have it if God wills. Thank you for listening. What I'm saying is just a little bit that I wanted to contribute. It's my first time, and I appreciate you all. Thank you very much.
And I totally agree, because the community, I've developed relationships now to where, especially where my beachfront property is, I love my community. They have my back. They built both my walls, so I do understand going there with respect and with an open mind to understand and learn the culture makes a big difference in their eyes. Even there's times where I stepped on people I did wrong, and they brought me to the side and said, "This is why we do it this way." And I said, "Okay, I understand." And I just, complied with how the community was flowing. So I definitely agree with what you're saying. Respect is crucial, and having an open mind to the culture as well.
Let's pass it to Al. Al, go ahead and meet yourself, Al.
Good evening, Dynasty, and everyone in the family. Good evening, Dynasty. Your program is lit.
Lit.
Your
Oh,
documentary
okay.
is lit, fam. Trust me, man.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
definitely, man. Definitely. I mean, everyone should get involved. Definitely, that's some good
Thank you.
documentary. Kind of opened my eyes with the doggone tribes and especially around Mali area and all the way to Tanzania. I mean, amazing. But yeah, sister, unfortunately, it's unfortunate you got that experience in the sister that was speaking about Egypt and northern Nigeria and so on. But the reality is, Egypt is an Arab country, and you could be living in the UK or in America, which is the most modernized country. You still probably will experience that, in the Western world. So, you know what I mean? So it's not just in Africa, but as Brandon said earlier, you obviously, as a woman, you have to be a woman to understand, where women's coming from. You know what I mean? It's like being a black person working in a racist neighborhood, expecting otherwise, because the reality is you're probably gonna get people, that do not like you or want to be racist, whatever, like misogyny. You're gonna get that everywhere in the world, to be honest. So it's sad. But most countries in Africa, to be honest, they actually respect women's and older people. That's my personal experience. Most people in Africa respect elderlies and women's.
Kofi, go ahead, Kofi. Unmute yourself.
Does that make sense? Because you're more likely to get disrespected. I don't know what respect means in this modern world. You know what I mean? Because if you, for example, dress certain way, you go out clubbing, I guarantee you, in this part of the world, like in the UK or America, you're gonna get a guy that's probably gonna want to, put their hands on you or think about you certain ways. You know what I mean? Which is all nasty. But in Africa, on the average nightclub in Africa, you probably wouldn't get that. Does that make sense? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So it's all depend on the situation and which country and what they find acceptable, what they don't find acceptable. And these are the most basic things someone should learn about a country before they even migrate there. Does that make sense? So you can actually learn how to counter that. So it's kind of open field, but it's kind of sad at the same time, that people have to experience that in this day and age.
Mm-hmm, yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, especially when it comes to respect. I will never understand how you put your hands on someone and it's just a touch. You shouldn't put your hands on anyone without their permission, in my opinion.
Exactly. So yeah, that's some kind of assault, right? But most average people in Africa probably wouldn't even know that is an assault. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Because they already find that culturally acceptable. Over here, people already learn that. But then you might get some type of disrespect over here that you might not get in Africa neither. So
right. So it's just like, dang, where's the middle ground?
Yeah, exactly. That's right. But yeah, I'll let someone else speak. Well, yeah.
Thanks, Al.
Just wanted to see that. Thank you. You're welcome.
Go ahead, Kofi.
Yeah, peace, everyone. I have land. I have land in the central region. Me and my father. Thanks to this, thanks to Dynast platform.
Sorry about that. Sorry about that. I was trying to reply to somebody, but sorry about that. Keep going. I'm trying to reply to somebody, and go ahead, Kofi.
My experience is that the chiefdom, they own most of the land in different regions, and the way they deal with us is they would register land to us. You don't purchase land. It's more so given to you through like a freehold lease, and you get 55 years. And I believe even a Ghanaian, they get the land for 99 years, but it's still under the control by the chiefs in that region. And we paid about $700 for a plot. And I noticed when I would tell Ghanaians, like, hey, this is how much we paid, and I would convert it into Ghana cedis, their faces would be like, wow, like, you got ripped off. Mm-hmm. And apparently we paid double to almost triple of what a plot is worth. But you know, as you see, you know, in like a year, the currency could just like skyrocket. So you know, prices is forever changing, and you know, people that own land, they could pretty much charge and do whatever they want with it. The only criticisms I have is when all these chiefdoms have to sign off on a single plot. I just wish that they had like, you know, DocuSign. You know, if a chief is in like
Technology.
another part of Ghana that's like 7 hours away, you know, the person who's the person who's negotiating the land for them, which is most likely a government person, they have to actually go there with the paperwork and have it physically signed and have everything stamped. But I feel like you know, DocuSign, I think is owned either by Google or Microsoft. This is an opportunity for anyone in Africa to just come up with their own software. Um, I found it extremely hard to find land in Ghana, and it's actually through word through mouth. You know, someone who speaks the local language of course, and if you know if they just happen to be talking about it, selling land, then you know they're gonna just let you know. But meeting up with the landowner versus the land agent is just extremely hard. So this is something that takes time, and I would just tell people to, you know, take your time, spend, you know, a year or two before you even purchase land. Don't be so fast. And I believe it is important to purchase land, especially farmland, and start farming. And unlike Liberia, you know, Liberia has it in their constitution that only Africans could own land, opposed to Ghana. You know, anyone could just kind of come in. And,
If you have the money, you can get it.
yeah, and that could kind of change. That could change how even Ghanaians start looking at their people that's in government. You know, so they don't really want to. They don't really want change that happening that fast. So that's why it's like land is almost like a secret. And I would say it's worth the wait. Wait it out and see what you could get, because there are people, there are Americans who have farmland, and there are Americans who are able to, you know, they're able to get the they're able to get land, you know, worth their value. I'm just gonna cut myself off, and I'm just gonna go to someone else.
But coffee, to what you said, being patient, that's one thing that I wasn't. I was so emotionally unbalanced. That's why I bought that first land so quickly. I'm thinking I'm going back to motherland. It's gonna be awesome. But if I did take the time, wait, I would have had a different result. So I do agree with that.
All right, go ahead, James. Unmute yourself, James.
I just want to say peace and love to the chat. Peace and love to the panel. Dynasty, I always call you Prince. Today my birthday. So I turned 33 today. I'm a African American, right? Or Black American. The reason why I say African American is because when I believe when a person travel overseas, like if I was to go to India, China, Germany, whatever, they would consider me a black American, especially with my accent, my language, and things of that nature, right? Or African American, right? That's what I believe foreigners, or if I go to Kenya, right, Ghana, Africa, they know I'm a black American or African American, right? They say they know I'm an African American because people around the world have libraries, they have museums, they have statues, books, pictures that talks about the Atlantic slave trade. They talk about the Arab slave trade, whatever. So they know about how Africans were scattered throughout the world. At least this is what I was taught, you know. And too often I come around people that haven't been taught shit. They don't know nothing. You know what I mean? And like Pan African Strike Back, right? Brandon, he understands that people get paid to capitalize off of people's ignorance or whatever. But I want to ask people like, if you was to meet the king of Ghana, right, or if you was to meet the queen of king of England, what would you call yourself? I mean, in order not to be looked at as a joke, right? Because I can say shit. I'm a dog. I'm a beast, and I'm talking to the king of England, right? So I just sometimes challenge people. Like, what would you consider yourself when you're talking to a person of position of power? And me personally, I'm gonna be honest. I'm an African American descendant of African slaves. You know, I have an ID, social security card, birth certificate, that type of corporation paperwork to prove that. But just from what I was taught from my family, and that was another point I wanted to make. People don't honor their elders. You know, they want to be better than their elders, which is cool because I always talk about progressing, getting better, and all that good stuff. But some people don't honor their elders, and they look at these old people like they don't know anything, right? And it's like that's how we in the situation we in now because everybody want to one up on somebody. You know what I'm saying? And if we cannot try to one up on each other, but try to support each other, I feel black people in general as a nation will get a lot better because now we're talking about trading. Now we're talking about what skills can you bring to the family to help each other. But until we talk about that, we're talking about I'm better than you. I'm better than you. I make more money than you. I make about $2,000 a month. That ain't nothing. So that's bragging. That's bragging. I'm talking USD dollars, by the way. Right? Now that shit bragging. The real true goal, I believe, is to respect each other. Right? That's for one. Just be like, man, okay, you are somebody. You are somebody. From there, we can say, well, what could you do? How can you help the neighborhood, the community? But as long as we got this mentality, I'm better than you, of course you're gonna be better than me. But we will not go nowhere. We won't go nowhere. So you can
Yes,
tell
sir.
me every day, all day, we you better than me. But the truth is, what could we do together to move the population forward or the race forward, like how can we put people who look like us in a better position than we is today
Right, Jay. Let
without
me let me
hurting people,
I was gonna say,
right?
let
All
me
right.
pass it to African millennial real quick. African millennial, go ahead, African millennial.
Thanks, Dynast.
You're
And
welcome.
hi, Leslie.
Hello.
Thanks for the experience. And yeah, hi to the panel. There are some Ghanaians in the comment section. I know they're Ghanaians because of their names, but they were saying a lot of lies. They were like, Ghanaian men respect Ghanaian women. They don't really have to. It's not socially. Like, you're not gonna get in trouble if you don't respect Ghanaian women. I would say some do, but what I notice in Ghana is that if you're married, you get respect, or if you're a mother, you get respect. But if you're single woman, not really gonna get that much respect. Ghanaian men respect Ghanaian men the most. Like that's just the patriarchal society.
And
Uh,
if I can interject, that's why I am Leslie. I was asking, and you said you have men in Ghana. I was asking, are they your husband or because
No, these are
yeah,
men from the community that I develop relationship with on a
right.
professional business level.
You need to get a husband.
I need.
They
I
want
was
to be her husband.
yeah, they want to be your husband.
I do get a lot of those too.
Yeah, but go ahead, African millennial. Go ahead, African millennial.
Oh, right. And also, I just wanted to say, like, this is not to downplay Ghana or whatever, but it's just there are there's just vast differences. You know what I mean? Like what you can get away with over here, the court system over there, it's behind.
Oof, I
It's
know.
like in the I think it's in the 1950s, to be honest. So it's like if you want things to be done fast, unless you're gonna bribe somebody, I highly doubt it's gonna happen. I just highly doubt it's gonna happen. Land disputes are nothing new in Ghana. Um, the land is a lot of land is owned by chiefs, and unfortunately, some of these chiefs are trying to get paid twice or thrice. You know what I mean? So
I do.
It's like, especially as a foreigner or a young person, you going against a chief, it can be an insult. You know what I mean? That's the other cultural aspect of it. It's like, how can you go against what a chief is saying? It's not, you don't do that. So anyways, I'll just wrap it up. But yeah, all the
Very
advice I
interesting.
have is that I don't recommend that people just move to Ghana and stay there forever. I recommend that you visit, like you do extended stays for like 3 months, 6 months, blah, blah, blah. You get to know the culture before you actually move there, because it's just vastly different. And a man and a woman are going to have two complete different experiences. That's just a fact. Because another aspect of it is you went to Central Region. If you're going to some other regions, like even up north, Tamale area, if you're a woman, right, and you're a foreign woman, you have money, that intimidates some men, because it's like men are the head of the society. So you, as a foreign woman, having more money, maybe having more social status, and you're trying to like go there and tell men what to do, they don't really like that. So yeah. But
Well,
I
I
apologize
think
for your
that goes to a lot of even developed countries. To be honest, I mean, even over here, there are men that are quite intimidated by women's money, and then, you know what I mean, and that are highly educated. So I don't think that is limited to Ghana, but there's certain things that's a bit alarming to be done. You know, than anything else is how easy, you know, they sell foreign land to foreigners. And I wouldn't advise people to go to Africa and buy land from chiefs. If you're going to buy land, buy it from the government. Don't buy land from chiefs. We all know that.
They say
someone shaking their head.
even the chiefs would say, this is not. We don't run by the republic rules over here. This is
Exactly.
our lineage. This is through our chiefdom. Some
Chiefdoms.
would laugh at that. But
Yeah. So why go buy land to them? Buy land from the government. Take advice from, you know, take the right advice. Make sure you do it legally. Don't just go there and think you're gonna get on with people, and they're gonna let you in their villages. Because once you're outside the mainstream cities in Africa, sometimes the rules and the laws can be slightly different to, you know, the inner cities. If that makes sense. It's all traditional, then, isn't it?
And in Ghana, the chiefs are the government. They are the government.
Yes, but they can get away with doing more dodgy stuff than the government sometimes. Exactly.
Hey, Dynast.
Well, let me do this. Let me pass it to Mono or American African Millennial. You done yet? I'm sorry. You have anything else to say? I'm sorry.
Oh yeah.
About that.
So
Go
Leslie,
ahead. Everything else. Go ahead.
yeah, Leslie said just watched your video that you uploaded, and I think you were looking for the second tra, and I guess you were asking the guy, "Can I come in, or are you loading?" And the guy said,
he walked away.
"What are you saying? I don't understand what you're saying." That's what he said. He just went away.
Oh,
so this
that's
thing
what he
that
said.
like
Okay.
yeah. So this thing that everyone understands English, American English is different from other people's English. So he just didn't understand you. But he he said it in a very angry manner, like he was actually very frustrated. But anyways, yeah.
Thank you for clearing
Those are
that
just
up,
the
because I didn't know
experiences.
he turned around with such an attitude.
All right, Mono, go ahead, Mono.
And
Go ahead,
when it
Mono.
comes,
Yeah, it's just kind of like a quick tip, because sometimes when I watch some of the videos of African Americans coming to the continent, sometimes when they do the interviews, you hear sometimes an individual is asked, "Oh, how did you get here?" And they say, "Well, I've watched a number of videos on YouTube, so I kind of did my research, my homework, and I'm here. I'm forming relationships." Then I begin to wonder. Some of them speak about having met some Africans in America in very passive terms. So the thing I want to say is, if you build a good relationship with the Africans that you meet in America, they know how to navigate the system because they've lived in Africa. They understand the police, they understand the court system, they understand the chiefs, they understand the lawyers. If you have that relationship, you have a friend, by the time you go into Africa, you've already done about 75% of the work. Because for one thing, they will hardly take from you. I mean, there's still that chance, there's still that possibility, but the thing is, they themselves know who they can't deal with because they know they're going to lose money if they're buying lands. But they've bought lands, they've built houses, they know the system, how to navigate. So they can direct you with someone who is trusted, and they will make sure if that person has to be held down, they'll make sure they do it for you very easily. But when you skip that very, very crucial step and you go to Africa on your own, you have to learn the system. Like Leslie said, that she has some individuals that she's dealing with. Those are guys. Those very guys, they have the potential. I'm not saying that that's who they are, but there is still a very big possibility that they can, turn you around and you really don't know how to navigate the system at that point. But if you had an African in America who is already investing back home, they will be able to really give you credible information, call those people, tell them, warn them, and tell them you can mess with this individual because this is a friend. And that's how the relationship goes. With respect to the court system and the police, the other sister that said something about that. It is true because the thing is, Africa is still behind. When I say Africa, I'm just meaning many countries are still behind in terms of how the court system really works. It's very slow to get cases to the courts. And sometimes some of the chiefs are even above the police commissioner because they have contacts right to the central government. So it becomes really very difficult. But like Africans who are in America, when they're going home, they already have a police officer who is going to clear them at the airport. You may see them go very fast, you may not know. They go through the customs because before they go home, 2 weeks before, they've already made arrangements. They might have all type of stuff that they buy that they want to go through customs. They'll go very easily for less. You might be wondering, you might think, well, I'm just going to go there, I'll do the same. So, and if you've had good, reliable friendships in America, it's going to help you in terms of somebody's going to tell you what to expect. So you don't get really surprised about what your expectations are, how to navigate the system, to get a heads up about the culture, because you have to understand some countries may have just 30 million people. Ghana is about 32 million, Nigeria is 210, Cameroon is 30 million people, 258 tribes. So just moving 5 miles away from an area, you meet an entirely different culture with a different mindset. So even just saying that this is how Ghana is might just be very, very wrong because the Ewe people are very different from the Fante, they're different from the Ashantis. And if you're in a cosmopolitan area, it is a tremendously different experience from when you go to the suburban or rural areas. So form good relationships with Africans in the diaspora before you go back home, and things will be a lot easier. Africa is just beginning to get there in the internet age. I think it will get better with time. That's all.
All right, Leslie, go
That's
ahead. I
tough.
think you wanted to add something.
No, African Millennia and Mono, they talked about the court system, the police station. When I went to file the report, I walked in, I told them, what was happening to me. This lady literally laughed so hard, she slid down to the floor out her seat. And I was just like, what is going on here? So after I got past their buffoonery, I ended up talking to the chief of investigations and got somewhere. But it's true. The 1950s, like African Millennial said, it is a thing. And that's another thing that helped me realize that my approach needs to change.
Okay. Mammy Z, go ahead. Unmute yourself, Mammy Z. Mammy Z, you gotta unmute yourself. All right, going once, going twice. Okay. Guys, I'm gonna put the link in the chat room. If you'd like to call in, please call in.
I just
Again, if you'd like to call in, please put the link in and call in. Go ahead. Call. Oh, let me. I know James wanted to say something real quick. Go ahead, James. Unmute yourself. I know you wanted to add something.
No, I'm enjoying the show. I'm enjoying the show. Far as like what the brother was saying about the Africans coming back to Africa from America, they pretty much easy clearance, right, when it comes to coming back home, which is cool. And I just wanted to say it's the same thing we're here in North America. It ain't flying around the royal, the flying around and coming back to Africa when it comes to America. It's just more about certain neighborhoods we have in certain cities and states. Our states is kind of small compared to Africa. Africa huge, but we do have like this neighborhood mentality, right? This block mentality, this division where we look at South America as being different from North America when it's the same continent. So it's the same with Africa. I'm sure Africa look at Kenya different from Somalia or from South Africa, and that's just something that as people we have to break. I feel we have to break that because what happens is slavery. Believe it or not, slavery subjected the minds of geniuses.
Let me pass the Kilola. Kilola just came on. Kilola, go ahead, Kilola. Sure. Unmute yourself.
Thank you, Dan, for allowing me to come in. I think the lady afterward have asked advice from you because you're far more deep into Africa. I think in Africa, it's not about kumbaya. First of all, you have to be a citizen first before you start buying land. Don't let nobody deceive you that you don't have to be a citizen. Because when this court case started coming up, they will ask you, who are you? Will you go to this court? Where are you from? Because that is no more about this a whole thing.
And kiddo, that's why I was asking why she didn't come, check out Sierra Leone. But that's neither here and there. Go ahead, kiddo.
Yeah,
go ahead.
Yeah, because if you're a citizen, it's far more easier for you to take that guy to a court.
Well, or at least a resident, right?
Yeah, let's say residence. Okay, let's say residence. So let's just say residence, because it's easy. Because the moment you bought that land for any African person, and you doesn't have the background of somebody to defend you. Like let's assume the court system. Sorry, is not the way you feel happy in America. It's not like that in Africa. The next neighbor standing close to you will deny you straight because they know you are not a citizen. Always be a citizen first or a resident first. That's why I say you would have asked Dynast first because he's far more deep into the system. You know much because he's Nigerian also. You know much about Sierra Leone also because he's not just playing in the surface. He's playing interior, also deep, also into the system. Because Africa, you have to be, your eyes have to be open and clear. It's a pity what happened to you. It's the money is large. I hope you're able to fight it back. Maybe everything changed. But if you say you're going to court, these guys on the floor there, they can do everything to change everything because one, they will know who you are. You know, so when you want to buy things like that, consult people that are far more deep, not just people that you met on the ground there. You just want to say anything to you and everything. That I refer you to Dynast. That Dynast would ever explain more deeper to you because he's more deep into the culture. He knows a lot, read deep a lot because he'll be there for years. You know what's really going on. It's not the way you see United States. That's not the way Africa is. You know, it's a total different ball game. You know, I even made a comment. People like the Diners have a very strong background. You can't do them anything. You can't do them anything because he's from a very strong background. He's from a very strong tribe in Nigeria, over the Osun State. So if let's assume Diners buy a land or bought a land, things happen. He can just immediately his fingers will just roll like that. That land will be taken back immediately. So you have to strong your background first before you jump into investment that you know you don't have the much more power to fight or the connection to fight. That's why I say you have to be a citizen first before going towards that route. Don't let nobody tell you anything. Don't let nobody say, no, 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 you have to be, or the land, even Ghanaian doesn't own the land on list. It just lie. Most of this land are being owned by indigenous. You have to be indigent first. Just like that is indigent of a tribe in Osun State. You have to be indigent first.
What is that word you're saying?
Indigenous, he meant.
Indigenous. You have to be indigent. You have to like be from
indigenous,
yeah. The land where you went to bought that land is being owned by some tribes, and those tribes are the indigenous of those places. You understand? That's why you have to be a Ghanaian. Then you know, strong your background. Then you have to be a citizen. You understand? Because the way you say United States is not the way Africa is. United States, maybe if you bought a land, you have all the documents in process, the computers and everything, signature and everything. There, the chiefs and everything owns the land. The government is not going to take the land back when the chiefs there or the indigenous say, this is my land, this is my land. But I hope the indigenous there will help you to collect back the land and your beautiful place. Thank you very much, Dennis. God bless.
Just one statement. I was told by this Ghanaian in Accra, who was coming from England. He was saying that most people who own land, they more so use it to extort you. It's used to extort money from you. That's how they gain their money. They hold the land as leverage over your head, because that's one of the ways they can even gain money. So it's just like mobster like mentality that they use with the land. You want it and you're a foreigner and you don't know no one, well, we're gonna get you in due time. So he was telling me it's better to just buy land that already has property on it.
Go ahead, Darth Raven. Unmute yourself, Darth Raven. Okay. Olamide, go ahead.
Okay. Hey, can you hear me?
Hear you. Go ahead.
Yes.
Hear you.
Okay. Hey.
Yeah.
Okay. Hey, everyone. Hey, Dynast. Thanks for having me on.
No
I wanted to share my experience, and I'm going to be sharing a lot more of it. I was engaged to a guy that was from Northern Ghana, and he lived in Northern Ghana.
Oh boy.
And I was one of those folks that went to Northern Ghana. I was with him. I lived in Northern Ghana. I lived in a village for a month.
Oh no.
And what I can tell you is this. I want to speak about the culture and the men. It is very much, they have to be in charge. And even though I make the lion's share of the money in the relationship.
That's like, so like me and Miss Jones was discussing before. Like y'all don't you weren't expecting that to be the way? Like you weren't expecting like that? You weren't expecting that?
I was expecting, based off of what is shared with me and when you have conversations, that he was progressive, that he was someone who was
in Northern Ghana.
Yeah,
in Northern Ghana, progressive in Northern Ghana.
I didn't say it was the best decision at the time. I've grown, but at the time, but at the time, that's what happened, and I just whenever I can, I like to share that story with women that when they're
And listen,
considering.
do me a favor. Email me after the show, and you're more than welcome to come on and share your story.
You shut her down like that, huh?
Yeah. You're more than
Man,
welcome
it's
to come on. Listen, email is in the chat room.
Long show.
Send me an email. You're more than welcome to come on the show and share your story. But yeah, I don't know. It's just so like me personally. So when the first time I engaged Africa, it was through a recommendation from a friend, and he connected me to a local on the ground. So before I make any moves in any country in Africa, before I go, unless I'm just going for vacation, I always connect with locals or somebody here in America that adopts me, and then I have my adopted family over in Africa. So when I go, I always like every country I got an adopted family who protects me. So they tell me, Dynast, don't do this. Dynast, don't do that. Don't do this. Don't do that. So every country, when it comes to doing business, my local contact is on the ground with me every step of the way. Like every step of the way, wherever I go, if it's business related, he's right here next to me. Like right here. Like in Senegal. Like when you watch the video Senegal, Hamadou, my brother, he's with me everywhere. When I was in Nigeria, before rest in peace, it was Falajiki. It is everywhere I go. Before when I do anything business related, even as a man, I got somebody with me. But I don't know, understand. Like the sisters, y'all just be thinking y'all just.
Well, you trust.
And you know what? I blame, and the thing is, I blame the conscious community. That's why on Search of Uhuru, we don't be doing that. Black woman is God, and Queen Mother of the universe. Because when you get over there, they don't be trying. They ain't not trying to hear that. That's why we don't pander. That's why we don't pander and do none of that stuff over here. Black woman is the Queen Mother universe, and she gave birth to all the nations. Like we don't do none of that over here, because when you get into reality over there, because we got to think about it. When Black Americans think of Ghana, they think Kwame Nkrumah.
Right.
They think Pan-Africanism, but what they don't realize is the Ghanaians overthrew him through a coup.
Thank you.
and the majority, and that's who you're dealing with when you're going over there. Not all. Again, don't get offended. I have some cool Ghanaian family, but the mindset of the average Ghanaian is the one who threw Kwame Nkrumah overthrew Kwame Nkrumah in the coup. That's what you're dealing with.
Right.
And I think we shouldn't negate the fact that
you just hit the nail, bro. Honestly, you just hit the nail right there. Because based on our experience in West Africa, those countries that used to be Pan-African back in the days are actually now the sellout. And from the old, heroes, to what they got now is totally opposite.
And I hear what you're saying, Dynast, but we must not neglect the fact that us as a Black American, Black women, we were raised in this be strong mentality, which I don't see nothing wrong with it. But the problem is when we go to a different country, hold up, your eyes rolling. When we go to a different country, if we're not able to adapt and be open and learn, that's where the problem is. So I don't blame me being a strong Black person, right, or Black woman. I would blame myself if I wasn't malleable and being open to learn the culture. That's when it's an issue.
Olamide, go ahead.
You see what I mean?
Right. Well, that I guess that's the main thing I wanted to share. It was just that it's a cultural difference, and even though I am progressive, I consider myself Pan-African. Even though I am considered a foundational Black American, I am someone who likes Ghana, who likes the culture and the people. Even though I had a bad experience, I still am someone who would like to go over and nurture relationships.
Hold on. Who was your ex-husband in Ghana, in northern Ghana?
He was. Can I listen? I don't want to freak y'all out. I don't want to.
I got a feeling. I think. Okay. Was there? Okay. Did he have more than one wife? Let me start there.
So
no, hold on. Listen, it's a yes or no. Did he have more than one wife? Don't tell me. I want to guess. Did he have
It's
multiple wives?
unknown. It's unknown. Based off of my hunch, probably so.
Okay. So it's not the person I'm thinking of. All right, go ahead.
No,
I'm
it's
sorry. Go
not.
ahead.
No,
Okay, go ahead.
he was a spiritualist in northern Ghana.
They all
And
are. That's how they get y'all.
I've
That's how
too.
they get.
So
That's how they get y'all.
so listen, Dinus, this is the thing. You know,
That's how
you
they
live in
get y'all.
Atlanta. In
Listen.
Atlanta,
It's going on in Nigeria right now. All these women, they're marrying these babalaos. That's how they get you.
well, I thought
All these sisters marrying babalaos in Nigeria. That's how they get y'all through see, they get y'all through that's how they get y'all. But go
it
ahead.
was
I'm sorry.
going
Go
to
ahead.
be.
Go ahead.
I thought it was different. I know that energy in with the Babalawos in Ifa, Nigeria, and everything. But this is Ghana. This is a completely different people, spiritual system. I thought different. I thought it was going to be a different experience based off of my spiritual practices and connections and learning from him and, you know, what he does. I thought it was a deeper, mature connection than all of the scams you see. But apparently not. So it's a deeper story. It's a deep story, you know.
Listen, I'm gonna make
Yeah,
special
Ghana,
time for
Nigeria.
you, and you're gonna be able to come on and tell your story. I want to hear because right now it's Leslie's time. But listen, you send me an email, or I put it in the chat. I'm not hard. I'm definitely not hard to find. I'm the easiest person to find, and you can come on and tell your story. I would love to hear your story. African millennial, go ahead. We'll pass it to Mommy Z. Go ahead.
Yeah, 11th day, and just people who are listening. Ghana, Nigeria. Don't give Ghana so much credit. They're pretty much the same. It's just that Ghana's more peaceful. But Ghanaians are not that much better. They're not even better than Nigerians, actually. So don't go to Ghana
I'm not
thinking
sure I'm really comfortable with those sort of terms, you know, who's this, that better, this, that better. At the end of the day,
right. They're
you know,
all
there's good and
the
bad
same.
in both countries, right? You know, just like anywhere you go. However, you know, the cultures, as we did point it out earlier in the show, that's where the problem lies. You know, it's about understanding the situation you're walking into, right?
That's correct.
All right, let me pass it to Mommy Z. Go ahead, Mommy Z. Mommy Z. You gotta unmute yourself.
Hello.
Yes, go ahead.
Hey, thank you, Dinos, for having me on your panel. This is my first time. Thank you to everyone. First of all, I want to say that I really like Leslie. Watch all your videos. She's
Oh, thank you.
always very happy, very positive. I mean, like she has the vibe, the whole vibe. She's been like very friendly with everyone, very respectful. So I
Thank
don't
you.
know. Some people in the chat was saying some stuff. I guess they don't watch your video. I've been following you, and I watched the video the way that about the assault the day you posted it. I even did a live show on it on my channel, and I want to say that yeah, I heard Dana's the way he talks about like the contrast he makes about American women and African women and American men and African men. Let me tell you guys, like it's like two opposites, to be honest with you. But there is a middle ground when it comes to African men. Oh my God, I don't know if you guys like, are praising them or saying that they're better or what, but they are very oppressive. Like, uh, I don't think 80% of African women even like the way the men treat them. These men do not respect women at all. If you're not married, they don't care. They can treat you anyhow they want to. The society is okay with it. It's part of the culture. It's accepted. They only respect married women and older women. They value older women. Yeah, you have to respect them. But if you're not married, you're single, oh no. You cannot even have any type of confrontation with them. No one is gonna support you, even the people around you. No one is not gonna defend you at all. You can be evil over there, like arguing with a man. Everyone is gonna turn against you. You don't do that. The best thing is to walk away.
Can you give us
So
an example? Can you give me an example of, you know, one situation where?
okay, let's say that
Okay.
maybe you work in maybe in an office, and you're not happy about something, and you engage the person that is maybe like working with you like she did, and trying to express your disagreement in certain way, maybe being getting loud or something like that. No, they will not tolerate stuff like that. They will not even
Right.
talk about what we were talking about. They will feel so offended. And when they do that, when a man is offended in Africa, right, he's always right. No one is gonna listen to the woman, no matter what happened. They're gonna be like looking at you like you're very disrespectful. How dare you disrespect a man? You don't talk to a man like that.
So
It's
basically,
always like that.
they don't know how to take rejection, basically.
Oh no, these men are
That part.
emotionally very immature. To be
Right.
honest
Okay.
with you guys,
Yeah,
you
I'm
guys
just
not gonna
yeah.
admit that, but that's what it is. We struggle with it. Our men are emotionally immature. A lot of them, they take
So
everything at heart.
so do you think that's just in Africa, or is it global men's problem, or
No, it's
just
not a
Africa?
global problem. No,
Okay.
I'm here in America now, and
Okay.
I see how some men, I mean, they know they can even engage in conversation and
Right.
disagree with you
Do you
without
think
taking
do you think
offense.
men that are educated in Africa actually have they're more tolerance towards rejection than uneducated men?
I don't think so. Yeah, maybe.
Right.
Let me see. No, the society. The thing is our
Or you think it's a
culture. To be
cultural thing?
honest with you, the thing is our culture, because a man that let a woman like talk to him, like even showing that she's not happy with him and he's listening, it
Mm.
considered as a weakness. That's our culture. Even in the family, you cannot dare stand in front of your husband like just express your disagreement in front of other people, family members. Even your own family turn against you. They will tell you a woman doesn't talk to a man like that.
Do you know what? I actually, because I don't know, growing up in Sierra Leone, and I do not. We might have that sort of issue, but I can't remember where that's actually rampant. Growing up at certain era, I'm not sure about this generation after me, but my generation growing up in Sierra Leone, I can't remember where women are targeted like that. Maybe it's different. To be honest, we always been different to other countries that surround us anyway. So
Generally in
yeah.
Africa, I have been around 6 countries in Africa when I was still in Africa working,
Mm.
going countries after country. You guys talking about Nigeria? You guys even understand the Nigerian culture? It's so traditional. These people are very traditional. There in Nigeria, you cannot dare stand there talking to a man. Like you have to, sir, you have to go to the bedroom, and first of all, you have to make sure he's in good mood before you can express your disagreement to him, before he can even listen. It's not like you're just gonna sit over there in front of people and say something that you know is gonna, and they get angry very quick. Trust
And
me.
African brothers, if you listen, you better
And
listen
you
to
you
it.
dare not make him angry, especially where people are around. When people are around, that's the most disrespect. Like he can even divorce you. Like you have to really know your place and how to engage with him, even when he's wrong. Their ego is to the roof. That's how they are.
And let me
Okay.
pass it to Uncle Phil. Go ahead, Phil.
Hey, Dan, what's going on, brother?
Hey, what's up, brother? What's good, man?
Oh, it's been a while. It's been a while. You just come back from a trip, right?
Nah, I've been August, and I'm taking a group to Sierra
August.
Leone in November.
Okay, okay, awesome, awesome. I listened to the sister's story, and I hate that happened to her. But earlier, what you were saying, Dinus, is about basically checking in, and that's kind of how I move too. I don't go to no country without checking in. I need to know where to go, where not to go. Getting with local people or certain maybe even travel agents, tour companies that's on the ground that's going to tell you. And then the thing is, what I figured out when I first went to Ethiopia in 2018, I figured out real quick that was not America, and the majority of the world is more patriarchy. So, in the West, when you come from the West, women got, more freedom. They got more, like the sisters talking about, where they can't say much, but in America, you can say whatever you want as a woman. But when you go to the other parts of the world, this in the Latin American world, you're talking the Asian world, definitely Arabic world, women don't got stroke like that. So a lot of times you got to get men to represent you to do certain things, unfortunately. You know, I know they got a long way to go, and you know, I've heard about the course of gender-based violence that happened. That's what they had all over South Africa last time I was there. I mean, big billboards about domestic violence, big ones. You know, like dudes can just slap women and get away with it, and like here, you know, if somebody come see you, you know, in the family, or you go to jail or whatever. You know, to the sister, so you trying to buy land and things like that, or do certain business. Like, have you ever tried any other countries besides Ghana?
No, this is my first one. But I plan to do more.
Okay. Like, just from my experience, just the way things have moved and what I've seen in research business wise, I know like Nairobi is great. I think Johannesburg is even better to move around in the area of like business or certain transactions. Like, definitely South Africa for me is the most similar thing you probably used to. I mean, it's not America, but it's similar probably what you're used to a point. And you could probably do a lot more probably there. You know, than I would say certain other places that you say extremely traditional.
Mm.
You know, just something to think about. You can try it out. You know, you got the Blantons there in South Africa. You can go through them. You know, they but Black Americans or whatever. But you know, what the other sister was talking about earlier was one sister I know. Well, a few of them. They was talking about. She was Nigerian. Another one South African. Say that Black American women, they got it good because Black American men is not like our men. Also, what you mean? And say no. It said they actually let you express yourself. They let you have careers. You can do this and do that. Say our men over here, no. I've been told that multiple times. Like, ooh, I don't know. And I guess the sister down here was confirming that. So, yeah, that's what I just kind of heard, Dinus, that we are, I guess, single men are prime for women over there.
Sure. Hey, Olamide, did you come back to America or are you still in Ghana?
No, I'll come back to America. I'm here in America.
No, you're gonna work that out. Listen, all you sisters that be marrying these spiritualists that be sliding in your Facebook inbox, and then y'all fly out there to go marry them. Listen, you gonna make that work. All you sisters marrying these spiritualists, these babalaos who come into your Facebook inbox and tell you everything you want to hear. Did you fly out there and marry them, have the traditional wedding? Yeah, listen, that's forever. So
and it's the first time I'm hearing about this.
Yeah, so you go out there and you make that work, Olamide. You go make that work.
If you stay in Ghana for more than 3 months to a year, you're gonna get caught. So you're gonna get caught by some. You're gonna get caught.
Yeah. Now listen. I begin the phone call. Listen, I begin the phone calls all the time.
That is so unfair, Dinus. That is so unfair.
I'm gonna tell you why. I'm gonna tell you why. I got a phone call a couple weeks ago from a lady, African American lady, who wanted me to talk to her friend. Let me tell you how bad it be getting sometimes. This sister has a man in Nigeria. She don't even know how to get a visa to go to Nigeria, but she ready to go to go see him. And I just talked to her. I'm like, listen, your man can't even coach you up on how to get a visa. She don't even know how to get a visa. Listen, y'all gonna make that work. All this trouble y'all be going through to get with these spiritualists, these men in Nigeria and Ghana, y'all that's for life. That is for life. So you better go back out there and make that work. I'm there. See y'all laughing. She's like, "Can you help me get my visa to Nigeria? I'm about to go out there and see my fiance." I'm like, "What? Like, huh? What?" Listen, they be there and be there. Listen, I ain't mad, but they be there. I ain't gonna lie, I was mad up at that one, but they be dead serious. I'm going to Nigeria to see my fiance. How do I get a visa?
Dinus.
Thank you, Dinus.
Hold on, we'll pass the black beat. But I'm dead serious. Like, these women will call me going to see their fiance, and don't know how to get a visa to go see their fiance and be dead serious. And then be mad at me. Or go ahead, Black Beauty. Hold on, stop the show. Olamide, was that you? Olamide, did you not know how to go get a visa at the Ghana embassy before you went?
I processed my own visa to Ghana. I was aware of the steps. I know how to research. That's not me over here. But I can understand why some women would be overwhelmed. It is a foreign process to a lot of women who would never think about going overseas or international.
Yeah, I'm flaming. Dinus, why are you flaming people? I'm dead serious. This isn't the first time. Hey, Don, I'm gonna go see my fiance in Nigeria. How I get a visa?
You're not being fair. You are not being fair.
Kindness, thank you, by the way.
How am I not being fair? How am I not being fair?
Because
Kindness, you're a leader.
All right, go ahead, Black Beauty. Go ahead, Black Beauty. Go ahead.
Dynast, you're a leader, so it's good that you give us information and help us get our visas. Thank you so much. We have been very appreciative.
You're welcome. I helped her.
Your boy has become like my best friend.
And here, hold on. I'm not even done yet. Not only do they need help getting their visa, they don't even be having their passports.
I'm not that bad.
So she asking, go to see her fiance in Nigeria, asking how to get a visa, and listen, don't even got a passport. That's what. But listen, I'm patient. I ain't gonna lie. I wasn't taking jabs at her though. She told me that. Like, I was like, listen, look.
Don't be
I mean,
hating.
I did kind of clap. I think she got mad at me too. But I but go ahead, Black Beauty. Go ahead.
Dynast, you stay hating. I don't understand you sometimes.
I'm not hating.
Yes, you is. Look.
Go ahead, Black Beauty. Go ahead.
I was just listening to the conversation, and what I will say is that when I'm in Nigeria, I prefer to speak through men. I prefer to have several people that can help me in different situations. So I have an attorney that I actually just met him at a Diva Mart. Really cool guy. He heard me talking about business, and he was an attorney. I was like, sir, I need your help. And so we just became cool. I made friends with my real estate agent. She's the most gorgeous girl. She is my best friend on the island. And we made plenty of business relationships with men that can help us and can speak for us. Because one thing we notice is when we try to do business, like you said, they don't want to hear it. But at the end of the day, if you have someone who can speak for you, it's actually freeing, honestly. It keeps, to me, it takes stress off me, because I would prefer not to have the conversations. Like, I'm doing an Airbnb business. I have somebody who is finishing it off for me out there, really cool gentleman. And like, he was able to, I had a dispute with a woman as well over something that she sold that wasn't good. We went to the precinct, we went to the court, but at the end of the day, he came up with a good plan, and he made that plan work and got that money back. So at the end of the day, it just saved me the energy, the energy of having, like, I didn't come to Africa to fight. I came to relax and to just have a little business. Let him deal with the problems. Honestly, I'm so happy. This person is a person who is so resourceful is the word. And so my thing is like, there's a little bit of a freeing element into that, Leslie, where you can just have a gentleman, even if he's just your friend, come and speak on your behalf and just sit in your dress pretty and relax.
That's what being married is like.
That is my husband, though. He is literally going to be my husband, so that's my man. But he's from
we
Nigeria.
already knew it was your boyfriend. Don't
Yeah, that's my man. That's my boyfriend. That is my man. I'm only the second woman he's ever been with. He's like super religious.
Man, he lying to you, but okay, believe what you want to believe.
No, he's not. He was married off to his last name. But they never had kids, and so
they'll believe anything, guys.
No,
Black Beauty. I can tell right now. Never mind.
Black Beauty, I hear you, sister. I hear you very clear. I hear you very clear.
Not everybody Dutchy like you.
Hey, I ain't gonna lie about my bodies, but I've been married for a long time.
And Leslie, are you sure that the guy you said he was insulting you, but are you sure he wasn't flirting with you? Are you sure that wasn't his?
So there's a longer story to it. I did get a love confession last year.
Whoa. See, you missing that. Oh, hold on. Stop it. You leaving out part of the Whoa. Hold on. Leslie,
you gotta use that to your advantage, babe.
Leslie, you conveniently left that out.
What's the dude her boyfriend?
So do you, okay.
Hold on. Leslie,
okay. You want to hear the story? So
yes, I do.
When they moved my land without telling me, I said, I want my money back. This is a breach of contract. They gave me this individual's number. So I called saying, I want my money back. This is a breach of contract. And basically it was a no. And then he was like, I love you. And he said 3 times really strong. And I'm like, am I in a twilight zone? What's going on? I don't even know you. So that was weird. I make sure he knew that was unacceptable. And that was last year. So all these little things have piled up to where I get there try to ignore him, and I got snatched up because I was ignoring him. So I'm just like, what the hell?
So this was in the heat of love. This was a crime of passion.
A crime of passion? I've never heard those two terms put together.
You ain't lived long enough. That was a crime of passion. That's different.
Okay, so it makes sense now. Not saying it was right, it was wrong, but
I
it
never
kinda,
showed any affection.
It don't matter. That's not how that don't how they operate over there, though.
Wow.
That's
but
not
why
how they
not
operate over there, though.
But why not use that to your advantage, honey? He loves you. Get him to help you get everything situated with your business, with your land. That's how you play.
I think it's
Black Beauty. Give her the game, Black Beauty. Tell her how to do it.
I mean, there's plenty of gentlemen. Like, for example, I'm gonna tell you what happened with this girl when we were trying to find her because she didn't want to pay back some naira that she owed me for a fridge that she sold that wasn't working. You know, for my Airbnb. I had a friend in the NIN department who loved me, and I called him, and then I pulled up on him, and he found her address for me. Thank you. And he gave me her personal address, and I found her work address, which I knew where she worked. But then I had my dude go in there to confirm exactly which bank she worked at. And then I had the cops pull up to the bank where she worked at. The cop that I had taken out, the cop that I had, the cop that likes me that I had taken out for a beer, I had him pull up to the place where she worked at. You understand what I'm saying?
Black Beauty know how to get shit done.
I hear you. I'm learning.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, but at the same time, those kind of things can get you into even deeper trouble. So let's just be careful, right?
Yeah, I don't like my emotions to be played with, so I don't like playing with others' emotions.
Exactly.
That's how
in a foreign country as well.
Be careful, but as a woman, though, nothing wrong with. Listen, if a person likes you, listen, you don't have to offer him anything, but if he likes you and he can help you, you're in a foreign land, honey. Why not? Listen, the cop, he has a wife. He likes me. He knows I'm dating somebody. He's met my man. Because he is a nice person, a nice gentleman, and I'm respectful to him, he helps us. Do you understand? It has nothing to do with anything. It really isn't that deep. You know, just take a compliment and just learn how to work through the men that are around you.
Hey, Dynast. The thing is, Black Beauty, you know, she's hitting the nail on the head. When people do things in Africa, you know, there's a certain way you get things done. And when Black Americans use those methods, all of a sudden it's dodgy or unsavory behavior. But when you're in Africa long enough, you realize that's actually the culture. That's the way things get done over there. So you gotta, when in Rome, do as the Romans do. But what I want to say is, look at America, Dynast. Look at these women, how they complain about America. The men are not masculine. They don't stand up for the woman. They don't know how to do nothing. And then they go to Africa where the men are men, you know, and I believe we're men here too. But they go to Africa and they complain about the men there. So if everybody has a problem with Susie, maybe Susie's the problem, because in America, they exhibit the same behavior. Dude, my best friend, Auntie Janice, married a dude that's in jail, bro, for life. She married a dude. Listen, you think long stroke money is bad, and they try to paint this picture like, oh my God, in Africa this happened. Y'all, why do you think all the best, juiciest Tyler Perry movies is based on not Africa, but Black America? Because Black women in America are taking L's left and right that will make what these women went through look like child's play, okay? The reality is this: the Black woman is operating in a state of dysfunction to where no matter where she goes on earth, she will never be able to find a mate successfully.
May I say something really quick?
That's how
May I say something really quick?
Wait a minute. Listen, this is what I'm telling you. Olamide, your husband want to control your money. He wants you to do what he say. I'm married. I've been married for 15 years. You know what my wife do? Whatever I say. You know who runs my house? I do. You know who control my wife money? I do. So there's literally no difference from what that African is trying to do and what a real man in America is going to do. The only difference is the woman that he's with. And women in America who are in successful marriages understand You're gonna have to let this man be a man if you want peace in his house. Just like he gonna have to let you be a woman. But when women want to be men, when women want to run the show, when they want to be the rooster up in the hen house, but they really hens trying to act like roosters, you're gonna have dysfunction no matter where you go. That's why the relationships didn't work here and the relationships don't work there. And I'm done.
Yeah,
May I
lecture
say
is tiring too.
may I say two things really quickly? Because this is a very common debate we're having in America right now.
Go ahead.
First of all,
get him.
First of all, we all know, don't play. African American men don't marry. They don't marry. What are you talking
I'm
about?
married right now.
African American men don't marry.
I'm married right now.
Oh, Brandon, let her finish, Brandon. Let her finish, Brandon. Go ahead.
A. And B, it isn't so much as my husband or my man controlling my money. You'd be surprised how that's really not the problem. The problem is when there's no loyalty. How can I allow a man to be in control of my money and be in charge of money if there's no loyalty? How do you do that? Things like cheating indicate a man that don't have no loyalty. That don't work in America or Africa.
Ain't no cheating in Africa. He just taking on a second wife.
Well, you have to consider his money with his second wife. My money is not for second wife. My money is for me.
Brandon, let her finish. Brandon, let her finish. Go ahead.
But the main thing that I just want to make clear is this idea that we just want to just go over to West Africa, to Africa to just marry because we just are just batshit crazy or something. That's not the case. There is a connection we feel that we are choosing to honor, first of all, and second of all, if those men are actually marriage minded, minus some difficulties we're having along the way, who am I to not honor that? After all, black men in America are not marrying. So that's all I really have to say.
Were you about to say Dick Cannon? Were you about to say Dick Cannon?
You gotta let me
She's about to say niggas don't get married.
She's about to say nigga Dynast. She's sitting up here. Dynast. She's sitting up here saying black men don't marry. Black men marry all the time, just like every other group of men. I'm married. So what are you talking about? That is a cop out. Black men don't marry. No, you went to Africa because you operate on the same mental plane as most women in America. If I am the breadwinner, I get to be in charge. So you did the same thing that women do when they go pick these bums up off the train station and at the homeless shelter and out on Skid Row and stuff. They get with a man who they know cannot compete with them financially, so they could win every argument by saying, nigga, you ain't shit, get out my house, and he gonna get scared and he gonna bow down. That's all you guys are doing. You guys are nothing but female imperialists, nothing but female colonizers. You want to go use your money.
She a female colonizer? Are you a colonizer?
She is. I know because I'm a
colonizer.
Wow.
I've never thought about it like that.
How dare you?
That's why you need to meet a man to think
I've never thought about it like that. Second of all, we are forgetting that when it comes to a relationship, women have feelings. You know, love is a real thing to most women. You're not even thinking about that. You don't care about that. It's just so logical, left, right, decision. There's an opportunity that two people can actually come together and there be a connection. But it's my point. You know what? Never mind. That's all I have to say.
Women love control. Women don't even love control.
Like I said, we're gonna have a separate show, just me and you, where or Amo. Then we're gonna pass it back to I Am Leslie, then Uncle Phil, because
All right. Thank you.
This is her time to talk about.
Thank you, Dynast, and I'm really enjoying this conversation. And Brandon, man, that was too hard for our sisters. By the way, I'm originally from Ghana. My grandfather is from Nigeria. I go both sides. I'm Ashanti, I'm Ewe, and I've traveled all across West Africa, by the way. So I am what you call your typical West African. My grandfather is from Warri, River State, Nigeria. The village is called Ugechi. That's the local government area. And in Ghana, my dad is from Akumadai. My mother is from the whole area. I grew up in Accra. I live here in the United States now. So I'm all of that. I'm all of West Africa, typical. And we are the people who travel back and forth between Abidjan and Lagos, back and forth. We've done that all our lives. So the culture is deep in me. And I just wanted to ask Sister Leslie a question here. I watch your videos and I love what you are doing on the Elmina Beach. I know those places very well, the Cape Coast Beach area there. Beautiful, those huts and everything, nice. Question for you is, what has been your experience in dealing with getting the 6 plots of land the land that you got at the Cape Coast Beach, and what has been your experience interacting with our brothers and sisters on the beach over there? The reason I'm asking this question is because in Ghana, not only in Ghana, in Nigeria, wherever you go in Africa, the difference is this: these communities are communal. If you identify first with the community, you have currency to do anything you want to do. You have the backing of the community. If you stick out as an individual, no matter what kind of individual you are, individualism flies in America. It might fly in Western Europe. Some parts of Europe, even individualism doesn't fly. Identify with the pack, identify with the pride, identify with the community first. And the reason I'm asking this question is because after watching your videos, I noticed that you have bonded very well with the community that you live with on the beach.
Yes.
And they look out for you.
Yes.
Nothing can happen to you, or anybody trying to touch you in that community got big issues coming at them. I wanted to tell us your experience in dealing with that community, because this other guy who tried to fleece you thought he found a solo individual that he could fleece. If he knew that you had a community around you, he would be terrified to do anything stupid.
Yes. Yeah. So excellent question. I got that land through a developer, so I didn't have to go through a real estate agency. And it's always been my desire to live indigenous in Africa, to experience what our ancestors experienced. So I wanted to live the indigenous life. I was going to go to a retreat that Joshua was holding in West Africa in the mountains or something, but it just didn't work out. But once I was going live, and one of my subscribers were like, "Oh, we were talking about building," and I said, "Where did your workers live before the house was built?" And he said, "Coconut huts." I'm like, "A coconut hut?" So I'm like, "How long does it take to build?" They're like, "A day." I said, "You're telling me I could be living on my land and living an indigenous experience right now?" Because that was one of the reasons I didn't go, because I needed to save money, because Airbnbs are expensive. When he told me that, I booked my ticket. They built my coconut hut, and I got to live an indigenous experience on my land, paid for a coconut hut, and live like my community. So when I came, they were shocked. They're like, "Oh, she's living like we are." And so I already developed a relationship prior to even going to my coconut hut, because my neighbors are the same people that built my coconut hut, are the same people that's been in my lives and watching my videos. So my whole coconut hut series, I knew I wanted to do it anyways, but I also knew that I was going to get credibility with the community. And they're the same people that built my wall around the 6 acre plot, the 6 plots. And they're the same people that built my wall on the beachfront property. And they're going to be, what I did, I streamlined. I said, I know I'm coming, and we're a type of colonizer. I want to include the community in my plans. So I found out who's the mason, who's the foreman in your area, because they're all skilled. They might be indigenous, but they all have skills. Right. And so I made a networking group. So now anyone that comes into our community, we already have a team to build their wall, to build their house, to build a coconut hut if they want to at least get their first step started. So I included them in my plans, because I know the importance of having the community on my side. Without that, I wouldn't even go. Period.
Go ahead, Amo. We'll pass the field. Go ahead, Amo.
All right. So based on that experience that you just shared, do you think that anybody within that community is looking to maybe overcharge you or take advantage of you? And do you think that anybody in that community, if they knew, will allow that to happen to you?
No way. And they told me themselves, they're like, Leslie, we are your crew. They said you have a crew now. See, I didn't know about the crew concept in the street court, but now I know. And that's how I was able to live in that coconut hut and not be afraid. Like everyone's in my comments, don't be alone. My neighbor literally was looking over me. And then I have the community. Now I'm bringing work to the community. I'm bringing income to the community. I'm not there to be a pretty little princess on the beach. I'm here to work and contribute, period.
Yeah.
So I felt completely safe until I left.
The only thing I can add to that, I can say about coastal beaches areas in West Africa, even though they're very welcoming, but that's where you actually can find some of the dodgy ones at the same time. You know, because they used to deal with tourists, people are coming in and out of the country.
Mm-hmm.
So there's another point.
They say trust no one in Ghana.
Yeah.
Let's pass it to Phil. Go ahead, Phil. And then we'll pass it to Black Beauty. Go ahead, Phil.
Yeah, I just feel that we you know, when we coming from the West, we have to literally get educated, you know, and deprogram ourselves, because what works in America is not going to work there, just from what I see. And just being, like I said, being willing to be open and just being a sponge to learn from the people. Because when I go, I was like, look, I'm your brother. I just want to learn. You know, whatever y'all do here, I'm with it. I'm not going to speak against it. You know, I'm going to stay in my place. Y'all politics, I stay in my place. You know, now I'm America. I talk about Democrat, Republican all day, but I don't get involved with African politics. That's something I will not do. You know, I just think from what I see, just knowing your place works very well out there. You know, because whether we think about it or not, we are a foreigner. No matter what they say, we are foreigners. So if we just kind of work in there, like I said, build relationships with people, etc., that it usually goes, you know, very well. But to the other sister's point earlier, you know, she was speaking about at least marriage in America. You know, prior to 1965, you know, 80+% of Black people were married in America. What kind of ruined that was the introduction of course, you know, the feminism thing, the no-fault divorce really did more, I think, worse than feminism. No-fault divorce, where you can just get out of a marriage just because, you know, our grandmother, they just couldn't say, well, I don't feel, you know, happy no more, so I'm gonna get out of this marriage. That wasn't an option, you know, because we don't see the 40 and 50-year marriage anymore in America because of that one reason. And that's why you see a lot of unhappiness in America, because you don't have the family structure that we used to have. I mean, in the South, we still kind of got it a little bit, but when you look at the Gen Zs, you know, a lot of that's going away. Nobody going to Big Mama house no more like it used to be. You know, everybody's scattered, everybody died off. You know, it happened in my family. You know, my grandparents died, and that was it. You know, nobody get together no more. What'd you say, brother? Somebody say something?
No. Go ahead, Black Beauty. Then we'll pass it back to Leslie, because we'll go ahead and close out. But Olamide, I got you. Just email me, and I got you.
Okay, I'll email you.
Okay, Black Beauty, go ahead, Black Beauty.
Honestly, I was gonna say the same thing that Uncle Phil said, in terms of like just going and being open and just learning how to navigate, and blending in is the way.
All right, Leslie, we'll go ahead and close out. But anything else you'd like to share in closing? And also, just as far as your what's that noise in the background? Okay. As far as like your case and how you think that's going to play out, and is the case more for your land documents, or are you pressing charges against the man? Like what?
So there is no case, because I was told by the chief investigator and my lawyer, since I don't have my witnesses in my aid, it wouldn't even make it there. So the reason I'm going to go as far as I can. There's no way I'm not going to sit back and do nothing. So I went as far as I could. I gave them my statement. It's in the system. I called the U.S. Embassy. That situation's in the system. And that was the reason I went to YouTube, because I was like, this is not going to be swept under the rug and nothing's going to be done about it. So even though I don't have power in the court system, there's the court of public opinion. And so that's why I made my YouTube video, to get the word out of what happened. And then, you know, things started happening from that, you know, and that's how I'm here on your channel today. You're muted.
No, I was saying I appreciate it, and you're more than welcome to come on anytime, discuss whatever. You know,
Thank
also
you.
keep us updated on your situation. But everyone, thank you so much for joining. Like, share, subscribe. Until next time, family. Dynasty Mirror, search for Uhuru. Peace.
Peace. Peace. That's